So, have you ever heard of the phrase work happiness? I'm not talking just better working conditions or basic pay. I'm talking things like free food on a Friday afternoon, free massages, fake grass in the office, you name it. It's a new phrase, work happiness. It's one of your stories, Cal. Tell us a little bit more.
Yeah, I read an article, I think it was in Fortune magazine, about happy workers being more productive. And going from past experience myself, when our boss generally is nice to us and gives us incentives to do things, we do work more productive. Or generally when we're left alone as well, we work better. But there's a study conducted regarding pret-a-manger. Is it pret-a-manger?
Pret-a-manger. Yeah, lovely food.
Yeah. It's a McDonald's company, isn't it?
Yeah,
McDonald's own it.
What is it?
I'm sure it is, yeah. Then either a percentage of it or they own the actual firm. But they've seen a 16% increase in their actual revenue. And what they think is it's a link between happiness and turnover. And the way they've done that is by giving incentives, giving shift bonuses. So also they have a mystery shopper come in once a week. And if they see generally that people are smiling and welcoming, they all get a staff bonus for that week. So that's the incentive to continue to be happy. But you know, there's many companies. It's Clive Schley, who's the CEO, who's done this study, and
Google's quite big on that as well, aren't they?
Yeah, Google's massive on it. But as a whole, the UK are 40% below average than American firms, and I've noticed that because I used to live in Seattle. That generally, when you go into a customer-facing environment, everybody falls over themselves to help you. Like, you can literally ask one person over here, and I think Walmart's starting to do it over here as well. When I say Walmart, I mean Asda. Is that I can be on that side of the shop and say, where's this product? They won't just say it's there. They'll actually physically walk me to the place. Is there anything else that can help you with? And I just find that really strange in England because you don't see it in so many shops. But yeah, you're right about Google. Google does a lot. It actually got voted the most happy, friendly work environment out of all the top blue chip companies. They give stuff like free ice creams away, free lifts in the morning if you can't get to it, if you're hungover or something like that. Which is a great thing.
I think it's a good thing.
So well, it's actually getting up for DUD as well, isn't it? So 20% of the time only needs to be spent in the office. You can spend more time on actually personal things. So you might think, oh, I've got this great idea, I want to develop this. Normally you generally do it outside of the work environment. They encourage you to spend time to do that in the work environment. You know, there's chill out zones where you can just chill out and work on bean bags, or you can, do whatever you want to. And they also provide a free dry cleaning service for you. So you don't even have to worry about your laundry and stuff. Free food in the canteens.
Let me go to these guys. Do you think you can induce happiness and job satisfaction? Jean, Chev?
You know, if you, just like what Cal was saying, if you give people an incentive to do their job happily, they're going to be happier. You know, I've been in places, especially in the UK, and you go to the counter and you say, excuse me, do you know where I can find a certain thing? A kettle. And they go, no.
Do you know what I usually find? They're in the cheap shops. In the cheaper shops, they don't kind of give you that customer satisfaction, but in the bigger shops and more well-known shops, they will.
Well, the reality is this. When I go into any shop, doesn't matter if it's a cheap one or an expensive one, the thing that I try to do is bring me to the counter.
Yeah.
So I tend to grin like I got wind. And I will ask a question because I know that the stereotype of the black male is that we're violent, angry people. And so I know that if I want to change the person's perception, I have to have this grinning, smiling face, without being too manic. And I think people react to the way you are.
Yeah.
There was a post office which is near here that I'd gone to, and I wanted to send a parcel for my one of my daughters, and the lady behind the counter was being very, very difficult. You could tell she'd been difficult, and every step of the way, I countered it with a jokey comment or smile or whatever. By the time I left there, after a minute or something, she was smiling and saying, "Take care." So yes, the employers should be incentivized to do better, but also it should also be inside you too, and also the customer should also try to help the whole process by being nice too. If everybody's nice, we're nice. It's nice.
I work in a customer service environment, and the discussion is often about nature versus nurture. Can you nurture someone to just be nice? or does it have to be within them?
You know, my opinion is this. I'm a believer. And someone say, well, what's that got to do with anything? Well, when you believe, then you choose to be an example of the thing you believe in. Most people are very poor examples or wonderful examples of what they believe in. So you can teach somebody to be better if they've got something inside them that will encourage them to be better. You can be, when I was a kid growing up, you couldn't turn around and say, what a lovely nature I had. Someone wouldn't say it now. But what I'm saying is I've learned. Yeah, blessed. Yeah, you can. You can, because otherwise, if you lock somebody up, you're saying they will never become a better person. Whereas you can help somebody to be a better person if you incentivize them.
And I in my personal experience, there's a garage that I drive to every morning before I go to work to get my petrol, and it's a really expensive garage. I think it's Esso, but I go there because the woman is nice to me. Do you know what I mean? Just because, and she doesn't even know that I go there because she's nice, but I go there because she's nice. She gives me a smile. But another thing I do when I'm driving to work in the morning, I'm amazed when I look at people's faces how unhappy everyone looks. And it goes back to the education system that people are doing jobs they don't enjoy doing. But if you do something you enjoy, it's not like you're working. So you go to those people at Google, they'll all probably be interested in what they're doing and they love doing it. So it doesn't feel like work. And that's the thing, and that's the problem with education. It's like, I feel that they teach you to be slaves rather than to focus on what you're good at. Yeah, because another example, my son, he goes to a school that's supposed to be all about entrepreneurship, and he took some cookies from Tesco, bought them for £1, 5 for £1. He sold them for £1 each at school. Now, for me, that's the great beginnings of an entrepreneur. But he got in trouble at school for selling them cookies. Do you know what I mean?
A young kid got the same thing about setting up his own tuck shop. He was buying stuff. Yeah. He's telling his dad to go to wholesalers, get the stuff for him, and he was selling it. And he's been discouraged. I think that is what you're right about saying is his entrepreneurial behaviour. You need to encourage that sort of behaviour. So that people do stand on their feet. And you're right about we're becoming slaves. The term is actually salary slave, which is what a lot of organisations do with people. They're looking at the bottom line profit, or whatever line you want to call it. And that's all they're bothered about. They're not concerned about the well-being of the employee. Our organisation, which I work for, is the NHS, are trying to do it, but where they fail is they forget to develop you as a person, and they're just looking at how can we achieve this as bottom line, because whether you believe it or not, the NHS is going private very, very slowly, and it's becoming that way. So now what they're focusing on is the bottom line as opposed to employee well-being, and that's a sad state of affairs. It really is, and unfortunately, these sort of companies like Google, Innocence, another one, John Lewis, who gives profit share from what they earn, they're in the minority. They're very few and far between. So, unfortunately, you're not, unless it becomes. I believe it should be part of law, employment law. I think you need to look after the well-being of people, because it does lead to sort of mental health conditions as well. When people are. That great little cartoon thing that he sent me about the chap that does all these great things when he's a child, and then he's a slave to his desk for the rest of the years, and you just think to yourself, you are creating this slavery. And let's not forget the number one reason for people having time off in the UK is depression. That's right. That's the number one reason. People aren't happy. You like you say, you go to school, you do all these great things, you go uni as well. They tell you you're gonna do this and that, and then you get to work and it's like, this is rubbish. This is rubbish. Do you know what I mean? And people aren't happy. So bottom line, do what you enjoy. Do what you enjoy, and your incentive. You should want to get up in the morning and run to work. Yes. Yeah, you should be happy with it.
So we've discussed a few people that's been in the news this week. Another one that made the headlines. I don't know if you've ever heard of him. Creflo Dollar. Have you heard of the name? No. The evangelist. No. Yeah. We're talking TV evangelists or superstar pastors who own or run mega churches. Mega churches, anything with a congregation of 2,000 plus people who regularly attend. The story hit the news a couple of weeks ago and came back this week. Do you want to explain it?
Yeah, he's got an unusual name, isn't it? Creflo Dollar. He's a preacher in America, like you said, super church, and he asks the congregation and partners to actually make donations to what he believes that it will help his ministry, and it's a plane, an aeroplane. I think it's 65 million US, or was it 85 million?
65 million.
Right. I think it was originally 85 million, but because it's him, they'll do him a deal for 65. Something like that.
Can I just ask you again?
Yeah.
I must have missed jobs at the same time. You need to say a minister wants a plane worth 65 million.
$65 million.
Yes, because but he did explain, right, that the reason is the plane that they've got already is a bit rickety.
So he's already got a plane?
Yes, he has, but it's rickety. So they all nearly lost their life. So he believes, right, that what they need is a brand new plane.
But
and
can I just stop there?
you can do what you
Have
like.
they not heard of British Airways, all these other companies that actually
Yes,
fly people?
even Emirates.
Do they need chartered planes?
Yeah, you see, the problem you've got, you see, it's this greed mentality that sometimes exists amongst, church people. There was an old saying in the 90s, claim it, it's yours. And everybody wants, the biggest thing, and they believe God is behind them. And he turns around and says that what's happened is because the negative media coverage of what he is asking for, he believes it's the devil behind it. And I think, sometimes the devil is sitting there minding his own business kind of thing. And he's just thinking...
He actually said the devil blocked his dream.
Blocked his dream, but he said in the piece, nobody can block his dream. Nobody can block my dream. That's what he says.
To be fair,
Yeah.
well, I don't know if that's the right statement, but what he was saying,
Yeah.
he did sort of say, no one can stop me from dreaming.
Yes.
Which is absolutely true and absolutely fine.
Yes.
And that's, we'll run with that message. But when Jesus turned the water and the wine, he didn't charge people for the wine.
No, he never.
So why is he charging? Why is he asking people to contribute? If he wants a jet, do you know what? Up to him. But to ask people to pay for it, which he denies, but there is evidence that... Well,
Yeah. Well, you got to understand, right, in the Bible it talks about... See, Clef is a certain age. And what it talks about is that in the last days, that old will have dreams. Young will have visions. In other words, they'll see beyond older people. This man's got a dream. So his vision is limited, right? And it really and truly, because it's limited, his conversation is going to be limited. His argument's going to be limited.
I just look at the chef, he's just frowning.
I'm still in shock.
Yeah.
I find it remarkable.
I can't believe. Sorry, finish before I get
No. Carry on,
Yeah, first of all, how can you warrant taking money off hard-working people to get an aeroplane? First thing. Second, if you're a man of God, right? So God's your boss, right? Yeah. So if that plane was going to crash that it was on, why would you be scared to meet your boss? Surely you're going to say,
Point.
yeah? Why would you be scared?
What a point.
Accept it. Accept it. Just like the Pope, why has he got a bulletproof thing protecting him? You should want to meet. You're going to be giving you a pat on the back, innit?
Meet your maker.
Right? Yeah. Third, if you can't fly and you can't afford it, then walk where you need to get to, because surely you can convert more people on the way.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Surely. How can you warrant taking this money off hard-working people so you can fly on a damn plane? Walk. Wolf in sheep's clothing. That's what that sounds like to me. Wolf in sheep's clothing. Terrible.
His reason supposedly was to help spread the gospel. My argument was...
From 35,000 feet.
What about the World Wide Web?
It'd be cheaper to set up a website, wouldn't it?
Well, it's sad because people were going to believe that, some people unfortunately like sheep, and they're going to pay their hard-earned money so he can sit in his private jet. That's disgusting. That's terrible. What amazes me is that people do these things under this religion thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Under religion. Do you know what I mean? There's people at the top basketball, football teams not traveling in them private jets. Them guys are getting coaches after the game. So why, just because you're coming under religion, do you need to do that? That's terrible. That's terrible. I feel like there needs to be like some... These people can't be controlled. Who controls them? Who controls them? I could start my own church tomorrow and say, you know what, I need this and this for it to pop off, and people are going to donate. It's terrible. It's terrible. Disgusting.
Julie, I want to finish with just this one point though, because you made some amazing valid points there, but I don't want it to be left that all the gospel is like that. That when somebody is a TV evangelist or a pastor of a super church, what's the positive? What's the positive spin, if any, on this story?
None.
I was hoping you'd say that.
Yeah, you see, I can't turn around and endorse this man. I'm not really a big fan of most of the ministers on the God channel because they're looking for fame. Now, I'm not saying you can't tell a story, but what you've got to do is be modest. Now, don't be fooled by the car I drive. That was a donation. I never asked for it. But the reality is, it's about
make
being
sure we
modest.
get a picture of that car.
Bless. But it's the modesty. E is not being modest. Most of the ministries are not modest. They are extravagant, and they are taught. It's more based on prosperity. The secret is this: if it look like a wolf and it smell like a wolf,
It sounds.
yes, and it has long sharp teeth, it is a wolf. If its hair is curly and it gives you wool every so often, it is a sheep. And so you must know them for what they really are.
And that's a valid point, actually. Listening to some of Creflo Dollar's material, or Joel Osteen, or Joyce Meyer, or you name the big super church preachers, some of their messages are good. How do you, as an individual, define what's right and what's wrong?
You can have two types of cakes, right? You got, in terms of, you got those with incredible ingredients that are good for you. And you got the other one with the ingredients that taste amazing that are bad for you. You must know how your body and your spirit reacts. When you hear somebody telling you, and it's about them, and it's all about them, that is bad for you. If it's about making the world a better place, it's good for you. So when you hear a message and it's about the benefit of the individual talking, rubbish. If you hear the message and it's about making the world a better place, it is good. The world is in the state that it's in because we listen to rubbish and act upon rubbish.